Today, I will be discussing what I believe are the top 10 most underrated Pokemon cards in April 2025. These are the cards that I think that you should be adding to your collection before those prices start to go up in the next few months or even in the near future. And as always, there is another giveaway on this video. For this one, I'll be giving away the BRAVIARY illustration rare from the Japanese set Super Electric Breaker, and also throwing in the Journey Together SCRAFTY promo from the 3-pack blisters. To enter this giveaway, all you have to do is like the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and also comment, what do you think is the most underrated Pokemon card in the Scarlet and Violet era? To find out mine, all you have to do is wait for number 1 in this video. Without further ado, let's get into my top 10 most underrated Pokemon cards of April 2025 on PokeLifts TCG. Hello everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the new series, Peak Form. So this is where I'm going to be discussing the most underrated Pokemon cards of the prior month. So for this one, it's April 2025, or the most undervalued cards, in my opinion, of the month beforehand. So again, April 2025. Today, I have a top 10 list of my own opinion. Remember, guys, this is my own opinion. So if you have a different opinion, completely fine. That's why I've said, leave it down in the comments. Tell me what your most underrated card of the Scarlet and Violet era is, and you'll be in a chance of winning these two cards in the giveaway. The BRAVIARY illustration rare from Super Electric Breaker. I mean, it's backwards here, but it's absolutely stunning. You would have seen it at the start of the video. It is such a beautiful card, and I will tell you it is in this list, but maybe watch the video and see where it is in the list later on. And also, you'll be getting your hands on this SCRAFTY promo. I absolutely love this promo, the Nab and Dash SCRAFTY from the 3-pack blisters in Journey Together. I love this card, and I wanted to give it away because someone needs to share the SCRAFTY love. However, let's get into this video. Let's start with my honorable mentions for this list. Now, I've got 2 honorable mentions in this list. I have my book full of prices and loads of amazing things. And also, I have got TCG Player up on the screen, as you can see here now. So this is where I'm going to be getting most of the prices from. And also, I've looked at the eBay last sold, UK eBay last sold. So it might be a bit different in the US, in Australia, and other parts of the world. But UK last sold is what I'm looking at on eBay today. But my first card that I've got in the honorable mention category is the Mousehold illustration rare from Paldea Evolved. Now, you can see over here, it does say $60 right now, as I think that's last sold, or it's the one on TCG Player. I'm not too savvy with TCG Player, but I know that their prices are pretty decent and they do pretty well. However, on this one, I think this is a little too high. We're going to scroll down. I mean, one thing first, this card is absolutely beautiful. I absolutely love the artwork. I've got the screen over here, so that's why I'm looking down, but I absolutely love this artwork. I think it's incredibly well done. I think it's hilarious artwork as well. Really, really cute. All the Mouseholds just in one card. We've got some sharing a family meal, some playing about with those mushroom hats, and then we've got the little family just down in the corner having a little sleep. I think this card is just one for those collectors, for the people who absolutely love the artwork. Grab onto this card while you can, guys. I mean, if we look down here, looking at the price history, we could see that it had a little spike at the start of its life cycle coming in. It went all the way down, and then we had another massive spike all the way up to $37 right at the top in about April of this year, starting to go all the way up in April. And then it's starting to mellow out again towards the end of April. Now, the reason I bring it into the honorable mentions and not into that top 10 is because it has spiked in price, and I want to go for those more undervalued cards, or what I believe are the most undervalued cards for this month. I think this is starting to get to the value that it deserves, if not just a little under. So that's why I put it in the honorable mention category right now. If you want to grab it, go and grab it while you can. I think this price is a really good price, this card. I think it's a beautiful card, and yeah, worthy of any collector's collection, guys. Worthy of any collector's collection. The second card on the honorable mention, and the last one in the honorable mention category, is, as you can see right here, the Ice Cube illustration rare from Paldea Evolved as well. I think this card is heavily underrated. I mean, I'm an Ice Cube lover. I absolutely love Ice Cube. I love the regular Pokemon. I love the shiny as well. But I think this card is just hilarious and really, really good fun. I think it's a perfect card for adults in the hobby. I think for teenagers in the hobby and also kids in the hobby will really love this card. It's a funny card. It's a great card. The illustration is amazing. I absolutely love the fact that this Ice Cube's watching the other one get in the fridge is like, oh, you're stuck. And I think it's just an amazing card overall. Now, we can see that the price is around $15. I did check on eBay. On the UK, it was sitting around 16 to 17 pounds on eBay last sold, which isn't that bad for an illustration rare like this. Now, we can look at the chart as well. It really, at the start of its life cycle in February time, it was all the way up here. Or, well, this is last 3 months, not start of the life cycle. I was lying there, but this is last 3 months. You can see that it did dip and it came all the way down to $13. It rose all the way to a $16 mark, which is kind of crazy. And now it's sitting all the way down here at about a $12, maybe $13 mark, which is a minus 11% decrease. And I really think that while this card has started to decrease in price, I think you should pick it up for your collection. I'm going to be picking it up for my collection. I haven't picked it up yet, but I really, really want to. On eBay, as I said, it's sitting about that £17, £16 mark, so it's starting to creep up again. That's why it's in the honourable mentions, because I think it's starting to creep up a little bit, and I think it might get to that probably £17, maybe max £20 card eventually in the UK. And does it deserve that? I think it does. Personally, I think the artwork's absolutely stunning, and I think it does deserve to get there, but grab it before that little increase goes back up. That's what I say, because that Ice Cube is so, so sweet, and all he wants is a little snack at midnight. So now we get into the actual top 10 most underrated cards of April 2025, in my opinion. And we're starting off with kind of a little cheaty one. It's the same with number 9, you'll see, but Obsidian Flames. Now, Obsidian Flames has probably not been the most loved set in the Scarlet and Violet era. It's starting to appreciate now in value, and also people are starting to realize that it is a lovely set, especially that Charmander promo in the ETBs. However, the SIRs that are in this set, I mean, obviously we have the Charizard SIR, absolutely stunning artwork, but people forget about the other ones. Now, Pidgeot is also a lovely one, and that's staying at a nice stable £20-ish price, £25, and I think that's amazing. But the other two that are in the set is Revavroom and also the Ice Cube SIR. Now, they're the two that are at my number 10 spot. The Revavroom EX and also the Ice Cube EX from Obsidian Flames. The Revavroom is sitting currently, as you can see on the screen, it's sitting around $450 on TCG Player for an SIR. That is crazy. I think that is absolutely crazy. And the artwork is amazing. I think this artwork is hilarious. I really think that this is trying to homage to the games with Mela on top of the Revavroom in the fire base. And do you know what? It looks awesome. I think this card is very, very, very undervalued. And especially for an SIR, you cannot get an SIR like this, or an SIR card really at this value in any other set. So I truly believe you need to grab this SR while it's at such a low price. Now, we can see on the chart as well, about 3 months ago, $3.60 US. That is mental. It did start to increase because as popular Pokemon got into February time, Pokemon started to get more and more popular once again. And then it dipped all the way down again and then up again. And now it's at its all-time, not all-time low, but it's nearing an all-time low on the market at $3.37. Last sold between then on average. Guys, get this card if you can. An SIR at this price is absolutely mental. I looked on eBay as well. I've just got it to the side here. I looked on UK eBay. Last sold £4.20. Guys, get your hands on a Revavroom SIR if you haven't. If you haven't got an SIR, if you've never pulled an SIR and you want one in your collection, I definitely believe that this Revavroom SIR right here is one to have in your collection, especially as it's so cheap. Now, I did say that I was an Ice Cube lover, and the other one at number 10 is this Ice Cube EX from Obsidian Flames as well. Sitting on TCG Player, currently at $8.99. Team, I've got to say, this Ice Cube, for me personally, this was my chase of the set for Obsidian Flames. I absolutely love it. I don't know what it is about it. I think just the simplicity of the artwork, the beauty of the white, snowy scape with the blue, the light blue sky, and then this fiery, beautiful red and orange coming from the terrestrialization on top of Ice Cube's head. I just absolutely love this card. I think this is so underrated. It's so simplistic. It's such a beautiful card. It looks amazing in the binder. I can tell you firsthand, it looks amazing in the binder. If you haven't grabbed this card already, I think you should. Now we go down to the prices. Again, last 3 months, it went all the way up. It went all the way up. We were looking at the $6, maybe $7 mark, and now it's gone even further up to that $9. So it is creeping up. But on average, we're coming to that $5 mark, $5 US. Again, I did look at eBay, UK eBay. We were looking at about £5.20 on this card. So it was a bit more than the Revavroom. But guys, for an SIR in a set that's starting to appreciate in value as well, it's starting to go up. People are starting to realize that Obsidian Flames was actually quite a nice set. This ice cube is beautiful. It's absolutely brilliant. And I definitely think this is an honorable pickup for any collector. Moving on to number 9 of the video. Again, a cheaty one. I know, I'm really sorry, but 2 cards. But they're 2 SIR trainer cards. Now, I think that these SIR trainers that have been in these Scarlet and Violet sets are really underappreciated. Now, everyone wants the Pokemon, the SIR Pokemon, and I understand that, but the SIR trainers that have been coming out, some of them have absolutely beautiful, stylish arts, actually, and we should really give the artists their flowers for these cards. Now, the 2 cards that I have here today is the first one is Mela Illustration Rare, Special Illustration Rare from Paradox Rift. Now, as you guys may know, you longer-term subscribers will know that I may have a tiny bit of bias towards this card, as I pulled it in one of my videos prior, but I was so surprised by how low the price was for this Mela SIR. Now, you can see over on the screen here, we're sitting at around a $13.44 mark, which for an SIR is low in general. And we can also see that in the last few months, it was low, and it was creeping up, and then it's had a steady decline in the last few months. I believe that this is the chance to grab it as it's on the decline. There's a card that's coming out in the new Destined Rival set. It's come out in Journey of Team Rocket. It's the Ariana Illustration Rare, Special Illustration Rare, which I'll pop up here as well, which you may have already seen. And I believe it's not the same artist, but it's a very similar style of art, and everyone's going crazy for that Ariana because it is an absolutely stunning piece of artwork. But I think people are going to go and jump over to this Mela because this Mela has a similar art style. I think the Mela is a brilliant pickup. For the price that it's at right now, I think it's a beautiful pickup. I think the torque hole on her boot is just so sweet. And I really believe that you guys should stick this Mela in your collection. So looking at eBay as well, just hinting into that or jumping into that, I was seeing that it was averaging, or the last sold was £11.99 in the UK. So dollar-wise, I think this kind of suits it on TCG Player, you know, $13, maybe $15 max. Again, for an SIR, guys, this is just this is a definite pickup for me. And it looks absolutely stunning in the binder. It looks great as a showpiece to show people, and as a piece of artwork to just look at. It is absolutely phenomenal. The second one at number 9. I know it's the second one at number 9, so technically we're at like number 7 right now. But the second one at number 9, I had to put the 2 trainers together, is this one, the Salvatore Temporal Forces Special Illustration Rare. Now, this one's a little bit higher than Mela. And yes, they are a bit on the higher side, these 2 cards. That's why they're a bit lower down the list, but they are still Special Illustration Rares at obscenely low prices, in my opinion. This Salvatore, I haven't got this card in my collection, but I found out about it recently. I was looking up some cards, and I was looking up trainer cards in general because I wanted to see the Special Illustration Rare trainers because I haven't seen many of them. This card is unbelievable. I mean, it's a lot. It's quite a lot on the eye, and I do think that some people won't like this, but for me, I think this is just unbelievable. If we look at the card as well, I mean, you can probably see better on the screen than I can right now because I haven't got my glasses on, but we can see the Raichu running out with Salvatore to run out on his adventures. We've got the Pawmi or Pawmo on the mug down there, as well as the Gen 1 sprites on the background in that top left-hand corner, a Teddy Ursa doll. There's so many Easter eggs in this card. I honestly think that this card needs to be in people's collection as well. It's gonna definitely hike up in price, I think, eventually, because people are gonna realize how beautiful of an artwork this is. Yes, it's a bit messy. Yes, it's a bit crazy. Yes, it feels like a bit of a fever dream sometimes when you look at this card. But I do believe that people are gonna realize that this card has had a lot of work put into it, for one. And 2, it just looks amazing in person. Now, as we head down to the prices here, look at this drop-off. Now, I don't know why this has dropped off so drastically, but you can see it went all the way to the top, looking at that $15 mark, nearly $16. and then it's come crashing down in the last few months to $10 US. $10 US for an SIR. Now, I looked on the UK eBay. UK eBay is a little bit higher, I can't lie. We're looking at like the £21 mark, but that was last sold, and you don't know, it's fluctuating like crazy, the Pokemon market right now. But if TCG Player is what you're going off, and you're looking at the eBay market and trying to get maybe a deal on this card right now, I believe you should jump in and try and secure this card while it is at a lower price. We've seen it start to rocket up in prices, no pun intended, during that first section of its life cycle in the last few months. I mean, not life cycle, but the last few months. So there may be another surge in there for this card. I definitely think this is a worthy pickup, and I will be picking this up as soon as I possibly can. Moving on to number 8 on the list, it is the Grottle illustration rare from, again, Temporal Forces. Now, I believe some of these lesser hyped up sets, your Paradox Rift, your Temporal Forces, maybe even now a little bit your Journey Together. I know it's still a little bit hyped, and don't shoot me down in the comments, but there's a Journey Together card later on in the video. Keep watching for that. But Grottle is a great card. I think this card is absolutely stunning for an illustration rare as well. That 1-star illustration rare. This isn't an SIR. This is just a regular illustration rare. And to have the cameos of Marill riding on Grottle as well, all happy. The other one chasing after, trying to get there, and Starly flying over this beautiful, vast field. Guys, this card is a must grab in my opinion, and I will be getting it as well to add into my collection. Some of these cards I haven't seen in person. I've just been seeing them on the fly and on the internet and around, pulled from YouTubers on here on the platform, and also on your TikToks, your Instagram, and just looking at them and going, wow, how have I never seen this card? How have I never heard about this card? And now I want it in my collection, and I want to let you guys know, because this card, in my opinion, is undervalued right now. Now, Grottle is a Gen 4 starter. Starters are held very close to people's hearts, especially people at my age now. I'm 25. So people at my age started growing up with that Diamond and Pearl era games, so the Diamond and Pearl, Platinum as well. And Grottle, Turtwig's being my favorite starter, but Turtwig was obviously in those games as that starter. And we can see that this card in the last few months has absolutely plummeted and started to creep up just a little bit more towards the start of May. I believe that you should grab this card while you can. I think starters are always a really good pickup, because later on in future, when you've got people like myself who then get a little bit older and they want to reminisce on the nostalgia of those games that they played in their youth, and also get those starters that they loved as well in their youth, they'll come back to these and they'll really, really want them. And this Grottle, I don't think will be any exception. You can see that it's got a nearly 23% decrease in price. Looking on the eBay, on UK eBay, £9.04 was last sold. Please tell me, guys, in the comments if you believe that this card should be £9.04. I'm telling you right now, I believe that this should be at least a £12 card, maybe even £15. Now, that's not me trying to say it should be, but while it's out there and while you can get it for those lower prices, I think this is a worthy contender to be added into anybody's collection. A starter, a beautiful card, an amazing scene, Starly and Marill having a great time. What more can you get in a card than this? I think it's absolutely stunning. Coming in at number 7 is a more recent card from a more, well, hyped up set, and it's the Mesprit illustration rare from Surging Sparks. Now, this has been on my radar. This card's been on my radar for a very, very, very long time. Back a couple of months ago, it was sitting at around £8. Now on eBay, it's going for about £10 to £11 for the card. This card is stunning. I mean, the sunset in the background over Lake Verity, I'm assuming it's Lake Verity, and Mesprit just sleeping out there, floating above the lake, looking absolutely glorious. This card is a stunner and is absolutely beautiful. And at £8 to £10 for this card, I believe that this should be a little bit higher in price, and you should grab it while you can at this lower price. We can look down at the price details, so you can see down here on the chart in the last 3 months, yes, it was at this highs of like $17. Yeah, we were looking at probably about £14, £15 this card. I've seen it on Whatnot go for crazy amounts of money. And then we were coming down all the way, and now it is it's at its all-time low, maybe just a little bit above its all-time low on TCG Player, at a minus nearly 50% here on my screen. That is wild. That is absolutely wild. Considering how much Surging Sparks blew up the TCG to then bring into Prismatic, and now this TCG is absolutely mental. The Pokemon TCG is absolutely crazy. But this Mesprit is amazing. And yes, it was at a higher price. Now it's come down. I believe that this needs to be added to your collection as well. It needs to be added to mine as soon as possible. I think the card is stunning. I think it plays on the Latios and Latias as well in the set. And I kind of love this weird, it's not the blurry artwork. I don't even know what to say. It's like this watercolored, washed out artwork that this card has. I think it's very unique for the set. I think it's a very beautiful card and definitely should be added to anybody's collection at this price point currently. Looking at it on eBay, as I said, we're looking at the £10.39 last sold. Last sold £10.39. I believe this should be a little bit higher, and it probably will start to creep up higher, especially as Surging Sparks becomes more and more hard to get and people want to complete those sets. I think this is going to go up in price, and I think this is definitely worthy to be in your collection as well. Coming in at number 6, this is a higher price card. I will say it is higher price, but I wanted to add at least one promo in this video because promos are always kind of forgotten about, but this one is definitely not one you should forget. This is the Kingdra EX promo from Shrouded Fable. Now, people might be going, what, Shrouded Fable? Shrouded Fable, really? Yes, Shrouded Fable, guys. This is the Kingdra promo from the Kingdra EX box. This card is absolutely sensational. Yes, it is a high price card. Looking at here, you can already see that $25 mark, $25.64 mark. But looking on eBay, UK wise, we're looking at a £22 card. Now, again, people are going to be thinking, this is too high, this is too high. Guys, look at the artwork. The fact that it's a promo, we need to be real here. This card is unbelievably stunning to be a promo. Kingdra is a fan favorite Pokemon, and I think it's Gen 3. I think it's Gen 3. You can correct me in the comments if that's the case. But I think it's Gen 3, or it might be an added Gen 4. I don't know, guys. Please correct me. I've forgotten. But this card is unbelievable to be a promo as well. And I think promos are starting to see a creep up in price. Charmander from Obsidian Flames, we're seeing it with the Eevee in Prismatic Evolutions. We're probably going to see it with the Wobbuffet in Destined Rivals. Guys, grab this while you can. I think this price is going to be a lot lower than it will be in future, especially as Kingdra is a fan favorite. I will say, looking at this price chart, this card is incredibly volatile. You can see it's going through some fads, maybe, of like $25, then it comes all the way down to 23, 24, then it's going all the way to 24 again, then it's coming all the way down to 22, going up and down, then it's had a steady increase, and now it is at its lowest price point that it ever has been as this video goes up, which is today. It is Saturday, the 3rd of May, but this is going up on Monday on the 5th. So check on eBay, check on TCG Player, see if the price is staying at this lower price point. Grab it while you can, because people go through phases of absolutely loving this card. I know I love this card. I haven't even grabbed it yet, but I do want to grab it in the future. I think it just pays homage to those old Japanese style of artwork. Kingdra just going up that waterfall, using waterfall from the games, and the moon in the background is just absolutely beautiful. Guys, do not miss out on this card while it's at this lower price point. I know it's a little bit higher than the rest of the cards I've got on this list, but do not miss out on this card while it is at the lowest it has been in the recent few months. All right, so we're up to number 5, halfway through the list, and some of you are probably not going to be too happy with this one, but I'm going to say it anyway. Ends Reshiram from Journey Together. Now, hear me out. Hear me out, guys. The reason I have put this here at number 5, okay, we've heard about White Flare, Black Bolt coming out in June this year, the new black and white set coming out in June this year. I just heard today that every single Pokemon, 156 Pokemon from Gen 5, oh my gosh, are getting an illustration rare. Now, all I'm going to say is, Reshiram, Gen 5 Legendary. This card, I think, when the new sets come out in Japanese and eventually come as a special set in summer of this year, I think it's June 20th, 26th, I'll put it down below so you can have a look. This card's going to pop off. It's similar to how the Zekrom, I think, is going to pop off. The Zekrom from Brilliant Stars is going to pop off as well. Now, we can have a look at the price. Yes, it is on the higher side, like the other ones. Again, it's at that $22 mark. But if we go down and scroll down, you can see that it has been on a steady decline from $40 ever since release all the way to $13.61. A minus, as you can see, 66% decrease in the last few months. To me, that is mental. For a card like this, how beautiful it is as well, it is mental. Now, I do understand that there is a stamped promo of this, and people are going to want the stamped version. But if you love the artwork, and you want it in your binder as a beautiful artwork, if you love N as a trainer, I absolutely adore that character. I think it's unbelievable that he got his own character rares and, you know, his own Pokemon illustration rares as well. But he's one of my favorite characters from Gen 5, and the fact that he's probably going to get more as well in the future sets in June, this is definitely a pickup that you need to get in your collection as soon as possible. Now, looking at eBay, $16.32 was the last sold as of recording this video. That's a bargain for a card like this, in my opinion. I think this needs to be higher in price. The artwork is absolutely beautiful. Yes, I know that Journey Together has been printed quite a lot, and that's probably why the prices are starting to really drop down. We've seen it with the SRs and Journey Together as well. They've started to really decrease, but this card, I think, as we go into the next Gen 5 set, so as we go into Black Bolt and White Flare, I think this card, and maybe the End Zoroark as well, are going to slowly increase. So I think we should probably get this in our collections, well, sooner rather than later. And at the price point being as low as it is, at the lowest point it has been so far, I think this is a steal right now at this price, especially when in future we're getting that new black and white set. All right, so getting to number 4 in the list, we have the Dolive illustration rare from Scarlet and Violet Base. Now, Scarlet and Violet Base currently, I think, is the cheapest booster box on the market. I could be wrong. I think it's a toss-up between Scarlet and Violet Base and Temporal Forces right now. But Scarlet and Violet Base is on the lower side price point with packs right now. But the illustration rares do not disappoint. I was tempted to put the Koraidon illustration, special illustration rare on this video. I'll pop it down there to have a look at right now. That was a potential to be on this list, but I do think that people will really like that Koraidon and start to slowly appreciate in price. However, people forget about these middle stage evolutions, like the Grottle. Dolive, in this artwork, is absolutely beautiful. Me and my girlfriend have talked about this card quite a lot. She really likes it, and I've slowly grown on this card. This card's slowly grown on me, sorry. I think it's unbelievably well drawn. I think it's well crafted. The fact that he's using, or she's using, olive colors and olive tones on the card is just so clever to me. And for the price point that it's at right now, I think it is so underrated and needs to be a card that is in your collection as soon as possible. Now, do I think this card is going to skyrocket in price in future? No, I don't think it's going to skyrocket in price. I think people are going to think it's cute, and people are going to think it's a beautiful card, and maybe it will start to slowly increase in price as the years go on or as the months go on. But I do think that it's a card that, at the price it is now, is definitely worth to pick up and have in your collection. You can see that it's starting to plateau a little bit here now in these next few months. It was at an all-time low, but now that it went all the way up here in March time, around the $6 mark, now it's started to plateau here at the $4 mark. Looking at it on eBay, on the UK eBay, last sold was £4.88. I know that it has sold for a bit higher, looking at that £5.20, £6 mark. I think right now, this is your best chance to get this card at a decent price. I'm not saying it won't decrease. I'm not saying it won't increase. But I think right now, at where it's plateauing a little bit at that £4 to £6 mark, this is a perfect price, I think, for this card. It's beautiful art. It's absolutely stunning. And personally, I think it's underrated and undervalued right now. This card is absolutely stunning and should be in your binder ASAP, guys. It should be in your binder ASAP. We are now entering into the top 3 of the list. This is the top 3 cards that I believe are now underrated, and you should and must pick up. Put those in your binder. Get them all in while you can at these lower price points, because I think, personally, in my opinion, I think these are going to go up in price in future. The first one, number 3 on this list, is the Drampa illustration rare from Temporal Forces. Another Temporal Forces card on this list. Now, guys, I do believe that this card is going to go up in price. I can already see that it's a decently heavy price already at that $17 mark, $17.91 here on TCG Player. And on eBay, it was about £9.24 on eBay. Guys, in my opinion, £9.24 for this card is an absolute steal. Grab it while you can. Guys, I'm going to be grabbing this card probably after this video. It's absolutely beautiful. I mean, I love this card. Maybe it's my own personal opinion and my own personal bias because I think it's just absolutely stunning. But this kind of like, it's not chibi, but this Ghibli, like Studio Ghibli style of artwork for this card is just stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. And we've got some cameos down there. We've got the little Butterfree just chilling and flying along as the Drampa flies all the way across the sky. Very Ghibli-esque. Feels like it's straight out of Howl's Moving Castle kind of vibes for me personally. Now, it is at that $17.91 mark on TCG Player, but as we scroll down, you can see that it did have a really big increase in March time, where there was a big increase in Pokemon card popularity again at that $15 mark. It spiked right up back in April, and then it's come down once again in May. It's come down all the way to the $10.80 mark, and that reflects the price that's on eBay, £9.24. Guys, this card is phenomenal. This is why it's in my top 3. I think this card will increase in price in future. I think people will start to appreciate this card. I also think that there's a lot more Drampa love now in the TCG than there was when it came out in Sun and Moon. I think when Drampa was out in Sun and Moon, is Drampa Sun and Moon? I think he is. When Drampa came out in Sun and Moon, I don't think people loved him. He didn't have an evolution. It was kind of an interesting, weird design. But as he's been in the TCG for longer, you know, they've just given him a illustration rare in Pokemon TCG Pocket, which I absolutely love. And I think people are starting to fall in love with this card and fall in love with this Pokemon. As that starts to happen, I think this price is going to increase. So I definitely think this is in the 3rd spot and should be a card that you add to your collection as soon as possible. Yeah, guys, grab onto this card while you can at this lower price point. £9.24. £9.24 for this card, guys. I'm telling you right now, grab it while you can. Okay, everyone, so here we are at the number 2 spot, and you'll never guess what it is. It is the BRAVIARY illustration rare from Surging Sparks. Now everyone's going to be like, what? Surging Sparks this high? Surging Sparks this high? Yes, Surging Sparks this high. Everyone talks about the Pikachu. Everyone talks about the Mesprit a little bit. Everyone's talking about the Latis as well. No one talks about these other IRs that are in this set, in my opinion. I haven't heard a lot of people talking about these IRs in this set. The Spheal from Surging Sparks is also beautiful, but this card in particular, I think this BRAVIARY illustration rare is just absolutely sensational. This was my chase during the Surging Sparks hype. This was the one that I wanted, and I actually pulled it. I think it was like third, maybe first to third pack in when I was opening Surging Sparks the first time. I pulled this card. It is in my binder. I absolutely love it. I think the artwork on this card is what makes it incredibly unique. This kind of like, is it Monet style? No, well, the dot style kind of work in there, and also the Van Gogh-y kind of sun and moon at the top of the sky there. And this pencil drawn artwork just makes it look unbelievably phenomenal. Now, I don't think BRAVIARY is the most popular Pokemon in the world, but I think this card will become more and more popular and start to drive up in price as we go on through the years, especially as we look back at illustration rares. I think this will be one to pop up in the TCG collector space. Now on TCG Player, sticking at $10, we can already see this is ridiculous, guys. All the way up to 13, and then we come all the way down at the lowest low right now. It's at its lowest price at $5.60 on TCG Player. $5.60 at TCG Player. Team, you need to grab this card if you haven't, especially if you want the card in English. This is the lowest price you're probably going to get it for right now. I looked at the UK eBay. £5.92 was last sold. For this card, it is just so low. I think this card is beautiful, and in my opinion, the best illustration rare from Surging Sparks by a long shot. And also remember to enter the giveaway, because the giveaway will include this beautiful BRAVIARY right here. Yes, it is the Japanese version from Super Electric Breaker, but you could have this card, this absolutely stunning card, in your collection. all you have to do is like the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell, and also comment what's your most underrated card of the Scarlet and Violet era. You're about to see my most underrated card in this era right now as we head to number 1. Let's get into it. Finally, we are here at number 1, the number 1 spot, the number 1 underrated card, in my opinion, of April 2025. Now, this could change, obviously, into May. This could also stay the same for May, in my opinion. But it is the Infernape illustration rare from Twilight Masquerade. This card has surprised me at how low of a price it is at. Currently sitting, last sold at £11.12 on eBay. Currently sitting at $18.99 on the TCG player, sold by the Wasteland Gaming. Shout out to you. But just appreciate this card right now. Twilight Masquerade wasn't my favorite set in the world, and I don't think it's a lot of people's favorite set. Obviously, everyone was hunting for the Greninja, and the Greninja is stunning. I think that artwork is beautiful. But Infernape, this illustration rare, it had a massive hype. It did have a massive hype, and now people have seemed to have forgotten about this unreal artwork. I mean, look at him. He's so cool. The flames look amazing. He's just scowling into camera, eyes right down the barrel going, hello, what's up? I absolutely love it. I think this card is so underappreciated and so underrated right now. And you can probably hear the passion in my voice because I'm like, how is this card so low in price? I absolutely think this card is stunning. Let's have a look at the price points right now. So in the last 3 months, yes, it was quite high. We're looking at that $18 mark, the $17 mark, but then all the way down in April. And then we've hit in May, 1st of May to the 3rd of May, hitting $11.91. Are we serious? $11.91 for this absolutely spectacular card. It doesn't make sense to me. And sitting at £11.12 last sold on eBay is kind of crazy. I recently bought the Japanese version of this card. I want to get the English as well, but I recently got the Japanese version of this card because I love the artwork and I wanted it quick. Japanese version of the card I got for £4.80. Guys, if you love the artwork, grab that card. It is just absolutely phenomenal. We've also got to remember Infernape Gen 4 starter as well. I think starters are really popular with most people, especially my demographic, my generation, 25 years old to 27-ish years old, playing those Diamond and Pearl games. You know, in future, they're gonna want to maybe reconnect with those childhood memories, that nostalgia, and this card will definitely bring back the nostalgia. I mean, I remember Chimchar being my first starter, growing into a Monferno, evolving into that Infernape, and this card, in my opinion, just encapsulates Infernape and how amazing he was in the games, how cool he was in the anime as well, and just how amazing of a Pokemon design-wise he is. I believe this Infernape is worthy, really worthy of this number 1 spot right now. Grab it while you can, get that beautiful artwork in your collection, and team, just revel in how beautiful this card is. So guys, that is going to be it for my top 10 most underrated cards of April 2025. My most underrated cards in the Pokemon TCG in this whole month that came by. Guys, maybe some of you agree with me, maybe some of you don't. I want you to leave that comment down below, enter that giveaway, subscribe, like, enter the comment. Let me know what you think your most underrated card or undervalued card is in the Scarlet and Violet TCG right now. Let's stick within Scarlet and Violet. I might later do a peak form episode on like some older cards. If I was going to give my 2 cents on it, I believe that those Sun and Moon cards, so your Sun and Moon sets, your tag team sets, are really starting to raise in price just a little bit more. So if you want to grab those while they're at a lower price point, probably grab them now-ish, or maybe in the next month. But for some reason, I'm seeing a lot of people really enjoying the Sun and Moon sets, enjoying tag team, enjoying all these things. So maybe looking at grabbing those Sun and Moon sets is a good idea, or the Sun and Moon singles is a good idea. But that's for a later video and another video another day. I already mentioned it before, but remember to enter the giveaway. All you have to do is like the video, subscribe and hit notifications, and also comment what you think is the most underrated card in the Scarlet and Violet Pokemon TCG. If you end up winning the giveaway and you're that lucky winner, you'll be getting that BRAVIARY illustration rare and also that little scraggy promo from the 3-pack blisters from Journey Together. As always, guys, if you're opening up any Pokemon products, I hope that your pulls are amazing and you're getting some of these illustration rares in those packs as we speak. Thank you guys so much for watching, and from me and Deadening, we'll see you in the next one.